Hi guys, it's the 8th, 9th of July I'm in London, UK. What I'm going to do is just run through today's chart, and I want to look at a few things that are going on. And first of all, if you see this chart, you can see my pointer. What we've got is Mars in Aries, and Mars is in Aries, and it's going to be conjuncting, or it is in effect conjunct Chiron at the moment. And also we've got the sun 17 degrees of Cancer, and we've also got Mercury in the sign of Cancer. We've got Gemini in 29 degrees of Gemini, and the nodes take 18.5 years to move around the chart, and they go around this way. The sun and all of the other planets go around the chart this way, so that 29, we're at the beginning of the node being in Gemini, and it's going to go this way over the next year and a half that it takes to go through a sign. It takes a year and a half to go through a sign, the North Node, and the North Node is our path at this point on planet Earth. So wherever that is in our chart, that's the area that we're working on, and then also the aspects to it. If you look at the aspects here in the center of the chart, we've got squares going on and an opposition, and the squares are where we have tension, and the opposition is the tension that comes from, in our interaction in the world, back and forth. So it's an interesting chart at the moment, because what's going to happen in a few days, on the 12th of July, we're going to have Chiron, which is the wounded healer. It's going to go retrograde for 5 months up until December. So again, wherever that's going to fall in your chart is going to show you what area you're going over and doing deeper work on. With the Mars conjunct Chiron, which you can see here, Mars conjunct Chiron is about the exposing of aggression inside of us, and Mars will bring, to the surface any Chiron issues that we have, and it will be exposing our pain. And clearly there's a lot of pain in humanity at the moment that's beginning to filter through, because people have been on lockdown for so long. Some people have got jobs to return to, some haven't. We've had other major issues go on in society with regard to the way we treat each other and how we think about each other. So there's a lot of wounding that's very deep in us that's been exposed at the moment. And Mars conjunct Chiron, it's basically to do with shame, and because Chiron exposes our pain and the pain of our existence as well, when we really think about, the pain in us that goes back way, way deep into our childhood and our early imprints. Mars is about where we're assertive, and it's also our desire and what we put out into the world and what we want for ourselves. So there's a lot of push and pull at the moment, and because we've got some squares going on here, there's a lot of tension generally around, even though it may be simmering beneath the surface, because at the moment we still got Mercury that's retrograde until the 12th of July. So that's going to go forward on the 12th of July, which is good news. So we can get on with whatever we've been looking at during the retrograde period. It's now time to move forward and start making some headway in the area of life that we've been going over. So with the Mars conjunct Chiron, we also get to bring our gifts to the world. And the deeper meaning for us is that there is nothing for us as human beings. Like, we can carry so much shame in us about who we are and feel so unworthy. But the truth is that being human, every day we're experiencing a new day. Every single day is a new day, and we're trying to figure out who we are and which way we want to go. And there may be a lot of shame around at the moment, inner shame that we're not able to express and speak up on, and also, looking after ourselves and getting our resources together. It's going to be difficult for many people. So a lot of people will be feeling shame when basically we've been put in a position where we can't really move forward at this time. So it's a tricky time, as we know. What I would say is that in the process of becoming aware with the Chiron Mars and of our desires, and we begin to look at ourselves, we've got to be careful that we're not going around hurting other people during this period whilst this is going on, because often what happens with us human beings is that we've got inner pain and then we will project it out into the world and blame the world and push our aggression onto other people. And when we get aggressive, it can also be we can have resentment, and both of those things, like when we're inwardly aggressive or feeling aggression and we have resentment, then it controls us. So we've got to learn at this time that, you know, that we need to have compassion for each other and tune into something higher, like our own inner strength, as we work through these times, because we're all in the same boat at the moment. None of us know, you know, where we're going with the COVID, whether we're going to have another lockdown, you know, what's going to happen with our finances and how we're going to look after ourselves. So I hope this makes sense. But what I'm going to show you now is a few of the aspects that I can see and you can see here. If you go to this site, actually, if you go to AstroSeek and you pull up today's chart, it isn't very difficult. Then you can scroll below and you can begin to understand the aspects and what they mean. You can see them here. So if I run through this with you, we've got the Sun opposing Jupiter. So there's the Sun opposing Jupiter. And then we've got the Sun trine to Neptune. So the Sun is trining Neptune here. Then we've got the Sun in opposition to Pluto. So again, the Sun is opposing Pluto up here. And we've also got, I'm going to drop out the Moon because the Moon moves so quickly at the moment. You know, generally it's 28 days around the chart. So this will drop off quite quickly, these points here, these aspects. Let's go to Mercury. So we've got Mercury, if you can see Mercury here currently, and that is squaring Mars. So when we have Mercury square Mars, it's where we're not, you know, it's like we want to express ourselves and we've got ideas, but we're not able or willing to understand each other. It's like, well, there's something missing. You know, we can have debates and we can have quarrels, and we can also act too quickly, and we can you know, we need to avoid making really quick decisions, because with Mars in Aries, it's very impulsive. And with Mercury in Cancer, we're not, you know, we're not that on it at the moment with that retrograde, because Mercury in water means that we're a bit tongue-tied. We can't really get our words in order. So we're just figuring out. And when that Mercury goes direct on the 12th of July, we're going to be a bit more stable in our expression, which will be good for all of us. And also, let's do a few more of these aspects here, which are important. We've got Venus sextile Mars. So we've got Venus, which you can see here, which is sextile to Mars. And the sextile is a nice energy. So the blue lines are generally easy energies, and the red lines are where we're struggling with ourselves. Jupiter is conjunct Saturn up here. Yeah, Jupiter conjunct Saturn. And we've also got Pluto conjunct Saturn. So we had this at the beginning of the year when all of the COVID began to kick in. That was January. This was a conjunction 12th of January. And then by March, we all started, you know, the lockdown began to happen, as we all know. Then Saturn conjunct Pluto. So this is restriction, and Pluto is birth, death, transformation and transmutation. And Jupiter is about truth, and it's about higher learning. And it's getting to the bottom of, you know, what is true. We want the bigger picture. So this is what's going on in humanity with all of that in Capricorn. All of these are retrograde, and they're going to go forward again in the coming months, one by one. And I'll do another video on that. The node is also, it's called an inconjunct to, the North Node is an inconjunct to Saturn. So if we take the North Node here, an inconjunct is where basically something's not seen. So we're trying to go forward, but Saturn is holding us back, and there's something that we can't quite see yet. So Saturn is our teacher, and it's very valuable to us because it gives us wisdom. Lilith, which is an interesting one, which is the feminine in all of us. It's the rawness. In the Bible, or maybe not the Bible, but some of the mythology more to speak, Lilith would not lay below Adam. There was a lot of, you know, she was outcast and she was shamed because she would not follow along the rules and the patriarchal rules of that time. And she was outcast. So the Lilith is a very raw energy of that, and it's in all of us, male and female. It's not something that's just in females. So we've got Lilith, which is squaring the sun here, which is square to the sun. Lilith is also square to Jupiter. So Lilith here is square to Jupiter. Then we've got Lilith square to Pluto at the moment as well. Then Chiron, which is our wound, which we all have from childhood, imprints, is square to the sun at the moment. And then we've got Chiron also square to Mercury. Chiron square to Mercury down here. And then we've got Chiron sextile to Venus, and then Chiron conjunct Mars. I've been there already. So let's skip a day forward, and we're going to go to, let's see, the 10th of July. And you can see here that Chiron is here at 9 degrees, Mars is at 7. And then we're going to go forward again, and we have Mars at 7, Chiron at 9. And then the 12th, we've got Mars at 8 and Chiron at 9. And then we have Chiron retrograde. So I'm going to do a video on Chiron retrograde in the chart. And there are some great books out there on Chiron as well, which I'll bring up in my next video. So if we understand our Chiron wound, it's very important, because as Chiron moves around the chart, transits our own chart, it takes 49 to 51 years to go around our own chart. But wherever it is for us right now is the area of life that's it's being affected for us. For instance, mine is currently in my 4th house, and it will be moving into my 5th house, I think, in about a year's time. So at the moment, it's in the 4th house is to do with home and family and the ego and the deepest part of the chart. It's like what's not seen, the roots, ancestors, you know, Mother Earth. It's really, really deep, and the 4th house is ruled by the moon. So clearly it's going to be different for each of us. If you want to work on that with me, I do sessions at the moment. I'm doing $25 for an hour on Zoom with me, and we record the session, and then you get a copy of that. We work together on your chart, and then if you can subscribe to my channel, that would be great. And my name's Penelope, and I study in Evolutionary Astrology, which is good to know. It's a particular type of astrology where we look at the Pluto and the North Node and the South Node. And if you've got any questions on this video or any comments, leave them below. And I look forward to hearing from you. And click on my, click on my booking link and check me out and see, what times I've got available as well. Okay, that's it. And I'll be back in a couple of days. Catch you later.